My traumatized babies and mentally ill Barbies, the dawn is breaking on the stage that holds our final destiny. And so my traumatized babies and mentally ill Barbies, the show must go on. Now, I don't know what's going to happen in this read. I'm interested and a little excited, a little like, I don't know. Because like I said at the time, I mentioned the clown. I forgot what read that was in, but the clown. It might have been the assignments read. But it was not time to talk about the clown. Now it is time to talk about the clown, at least preliminarily, okay? Because I knew that a being reading like this deck, whenever I see this deck in my mind's eye, is like, oh, there's something with the beings, a being has something to say. But I wasn't putting two and two together with the clown. It is the season of the clown, and this is like preliminary interaction from the clown, which is why I am not saying the clown's name. I know the clown's name. I have had dealings with this clown. This clown wants to make themselves known. I will probably tend to refer to this as a he within the read because that is how I understand him. But the clown is not a he, or it can be a he, but it doesn't necessarily have to be a he. It's more like a they. But the singular they, it is not, well, it is kind of a collective of beings, but like there are 4 of them, which is a stable. That's why, okay. So like the reason why I'm like, oh, that makes sense is because like whenever I talk about beings on the channel, I get very like, because like in talking to you about a being, I am establishing a connection, an energetic connection, even a loose one or a weak one between yourself and that being. So you need to understand that first of all, whenever I'm talking to you about beings, if you do not want to truck with beings, do not watch these reads. That's why I always give I'll give the verbal warning, because I won't probably put a warning on the title, but typically you're gonna know if it's a being read or not. I'm just telling you. The more that you listen to me talk about a specific being, the more likely you are to come in contact with that being in some way. So if that's not something you want to do, don't listen to this. Because this being specifically wants to be known. And I sort of know why, which is why I'm talking about it in the first place. But like, we've already talked, if you've been paying attention to the reads, about the spirals and about how interacting with particular beings can make something go north or south. You want to go north with this being, you do not want to go south with this being. What I'm saying to you is like, there's a certain type of response that you want to have to this being, because what I'll tell you is that this being is not good. This being's alignment is probably closer to chaotic neutral. And so depending on how you interact with it, it can go really, really great. It can go really, really bad. So that's the prep work. And so now that I'm struggling to find something else to say about this clown, I guess I'll let the clown come through. I'll let the clown speak, because this is a preliminary message. Like, this is going to develop over time. It's just that, like, the link wants to be established now. Oh, okay. All right. Yes, it wants to be known now. Through me, at least at the start. I am the one speaking publicly of this. And here's our fool, here's our clown. Like I'm telling you, this being, like this is the strength card in this deck. The color yellow is significant. But this is a powerful being, is what I'm telling you. This is a powerful being. The color yellow is significant. If you do not want to see this being, click out of the read. Also, this being is not a straightforward being. This is not something, this is not on the plan. This is off of the plan. And what I mean by that is God's plan. I'm not saying it's a demon if you're caught in that binary. That is not the case. I'm just saying this is the representation of God's plan. That cross, it's representing a specific energetic structure. It is represented through many other symbols. I just tend to be the most familiar with the cross, so I use it. The cross is a very, very stable energetic alignment that keeps the world as it is. It keeps things stable. This being is off the plan. This being probably wants to change some of the plan. Just saying. So if that shakes you any, this is not the read for you. Click off. Stop watching. Stop watching this read. So that's also why when you heard me go, oh, 4, there are 4 of them. Oh, I just thought of something. Yeah, 4 of them. Okay. 4 is a very stable number, and so when I'm talking to you about a chaotic neutral being, I would expect that to be associated with at least a 3 and more like a 5. Perhaps even a 7, but like, that's why I'm not really all that upset or like concerned about talking about this being at the moment, because whatever this is, it's not going to get aggressively into your energy immediately. I have dealt with beings, and these beings wanted to be talked about through TikTok, so make of that what you will, because whenever I would like go to like make a video about it on YouTube, it was like super resistant. I never made the video, and it's because it wanted to be talked about on TikTok, and that being was a brain eater. This being is not a brain eater. That other being was, which is always like, listen, don't, like, I'm gonna put it out here, but like, it's up to you what you want to do with that. And that being could also have been the result of somebody's operation, like a constructed being, like it would have been a group of magicians working together to create that, because it was very, if it was a creation, it was a very good one. So that might have been somebody else's design, but it was very intense, whatever it was. I didn't particularly care for interacting with it. I think though it was an actual being and not a creation. I just can't be 100%, right? Because if it was that good, then people would have created the lore around it as well, and it would have been very stable when it appeared to me. So anyway, that's why I'm not overtly concerned with talking about this and establishing the link, because this is not a brain eater. This is not something that necessarily like wants to create a spiral. Like there is some sort of structure to this, to the 4 at least. There is structure to the 4, but the one that I am talking about is chaotic neutral. The other 3 might be different. So together they are stable. This one is a bit more like erratic, and like when I'm saying that, it's surprising because it's a clown, of course. It's going to be surprising. All right, let's see what the rest of this is. Well, here they sort of are. In a way, the Beast of Discs. The Beast of Discs. It's something that wants to be in the material space, at least for a time. There's something with that pig. there's something about this being, there's something about this clown that's sort of like, I'm getting Pinocchio when like the kids turned into donkeys. It's something like that. There's also something to do with excess here. But also this is, I don't remember the name of the being that was in, they featured it in the Amityville Horror, but you remember, like one of the kids said they saw like a pig with like red eyes or something like that. This is something like that. But again, if you can't get your mind off of like demons, like you're just gonna, like, don't bother with this. Because like I said, this is like a being of non-duality. Like, this is not a good or bad being. It's just, this is... it's a liminal being. It's something that walks that line in between these two spaces. So like I said, it depends on how you want to interact with this. But this is a being that, like, part of its role is to invite chaos to create a new crystallization, a new order, and that can potentially be uncomfortable. But this being wants to come through, but you see it's not fully coalesced yet. But it wants to. It's not coalesced yet into materiality. Probably if you saw, like, you would not see this being yet. You would see this being's representatives. I will tell you what the being's representatives are. This being is not a being of the earth, but it is tangentially related to beings of the earth. Like, it has some sort of governance on that. And so this being, this clown, goes by many titles, and it has signs. And that tends to be the way that beings of the earth also operate, through naming. That's also why when I start, like, I'm calling this the clown. When I'm talking to you about this right now, you have to start with the clown. You have to start with the clown. And then eventually I'm going to tell you more of this being's names. The more of this being's names that you know, the more that I tell you, because I know tons of them. This being has tons of names, which means it's been around. This being has tons of names. The more names that I tell you, the closer you will get to this being. If you do not like that idea, stop watching this. Because this being has not coalesced yet. This being, this is Shadow of Swords. This being is still on the thought realm at the moment. At least in this version of reality. In other versions of reality, this being has already manifested and has already done its work and will continue to do its work. And depending on the nature of how society is, we live in a society. The nature of our society will determine the version of this being that comes through. Like I said, you don't want to go south with this being. And so this being wants to come. Chariot, this being is coming. Yellow is significant. And this being wants to be birthed with that Ace of Discs. It will be birthed. And also, I will call your attention to this because I am just now noticing. I'll cover this little part of it, all right? If you look right here at this navel, I don't know if you can see that very well. It's a spiral. It's a small spiral. Still a spiral. Still a spiral. Also makes sense that it's coming through the navel. But like I said, there's a little chaos on that. A little chaos. So we need to be a bit mindful because, like I said, beware the spiral. Beware the spiral. This isn't a spiral. This is more of a labyrinth. But it stands. labyrinthian beings, they can put you in a stronghold. And like I said, this being is represented, this is the wheel, but it's sort of like, this is the moon, the labyrinth, the fool, the clown of strength, like, you know what I mean? Tick tock, tick tock. All right, let's start clarifying. And of course, we're clarifying with the Joker deck. You want to see a magic trick? We're starting with this Beast of Discs. This will likely be the signs. The signs of the clown. The signs of the clown. Oopsie. Chaos. Here's a 5. And this is the 5 of Cups. I know you're saying, oh, that's grief. It's just a sign. Destruction. Oops is a sign. Destruction. The sign of the being. Well, truth. Truth is a sign of the being. Ace of Swords. A sign of the being? Oh. A sign of the being. The Fool, the clown. The clown. The clown is the clown. The clown is the sign of the clown. The Fool. This being has to do with mirrors. This being has to do with portals. Your phone is also a mirror. Truth comes through the portal. We speak of this being. You will watch me speak of the being. You will watch me speak of the clown. That is a sign of the clown. And anybody else who speaks of the clown. Because I'm the only one talking about this clown at the moment, but I'm not going to be the only one. Especially if it's a real being, and it is a real being. Okay, so signs of the clown. Also, this is a face in the mirror. I'm starting with the man in the mirror. I'm asking him to change his ways. And no message could have been any clearer. If you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and make a change. What is this Temperance? Temperance is, oh, this being is coming. They want to come. They're on a boat. They're on a boat. They are on a conveyance. The High Priestess. The Chariot. More people are going to start speaking of this being. The Four of Wands, like I said, this is something that wants to come to be, but this being, Six of Wands, there are already, and I'm going to clarify that more, what I'm going to say about this being already, and I'm saying I'm talking about this being has like at least 4 or 6 established cults. Likely under different names. They might not know that they're talking about the same being. But like I said, any being that's come through before, they already have way stations. They already have shit designated in materiality so that they can come through again. So groundwork has already been laid for this being. But it was pre-internet. These are pre-internet cults or societies. Okay, I'm going to look at that. So we will look at this High Priestess, 4 of Wands, 6 of Wands in a second, because that's what that is. They're already, there are already things going on here. So now this 5 of Discs, this discomfort. Well, with any pregnancy, right? If you want to change the world, things are going to get uncomfortable. Three of Pentacles, you're going to have to work together. This being wants to do some sort of work. The Emperor. Judgment. 2 of Pentacles. The discomfort is the disruption of the established order. That's why I'm saying this is off the plan. So this being, this 5 of Discs, the discomfort is there's some sort of judgment of authority here. Established authority. Likely unethical authority, but it's come to shake that up. Or it wants to, right? All right, this Shadow of Swords. This is the being. Look into its eyes, or don't. Look in the mirror, Clarice. Oh, so truth being the sign of the being, that is also truth spoken to power. The Star and the 3 of Cups at the bottom of the deck. The Shadow of Swords. This is sort of talking to me about at the moment about the way that this being would prefer to manifest. The color yellow is significant. The stars and planets, not necessarily the ones that you know, are significant. We are not talking about an earthly being or a being of this dimension or reality. We're talking about a being from a weird set of stars, a weird alignment. Death, the Empress, and Justice. This being is attempting to coalesce. Like there are certain people, there are certain factions, certain whatever. Because I mean, look at this Empress. Like she looks kind of like, oh, fuck you up. And like she's got a beast here with her. It's like the people who this being would align with are sort of like people who are wanting radical changes for some sort of alignment or justice. Which I know that's strange. This is also like mad scientist vibes right here. I know that's strange, being that I'm saying that this is a chaotic neutral being. For a realignment of justice, of order, there needs to be an upset in the order. Creation and destruction are inexorably linked. Okay, you can't do it. You can't do it to have a new order. You must have disorder. Chaos must reign, at least for a time. You don't want it to like run unchecked, right? So now this Chariot, the weird, wild way that this being travels through space and time. All this is a yes. The color yellow is significant. So there have been some obstructions here, likely because certain information has been lost, or like this being has not been able to return, because there are people who like, there's like people who know about this being, right? Obviously we know that already, like people who have been knowing about this being through time and history. And these people, whoever they are, they know the signs of this being. They know the signs, they kind of know like when they're like, ooh, like the time is kind of right, like things are kind of aligned for this being to start popping up again, like, ugh. And so there's certain information here with these books and this hermit. There is certain information, and like some of these people, some of these cults or whatever, it's information or it's the cults themselves were like bound, destroyed, prevented from speaking about the being. There was knowledge that was concealed. So you see this Queen of Swords like has knowledge and would speak. She has knowledge of the clown. But there's also something in her mouth, and then someone else is speaking here. Like it's almost like she's being prevented, and it's by whoever is being represented here. And then that's that like dragging up, like being imprisoned or being lost. So there's like knowledge here. I will look at that separately, the knowledge. Because I kind of know some of the knowledge. Not all has yet been revealed to me. I know some of it though. Some of it. All right, this Ace of Discs, this birthing process, the Ten of Swords, the Ace of Wands. From destruction comes new birth. The reestablishing of the Fool's order. The clown is the king, and the king is the clown. Ten of Pentacles. King of Wands, magicians, various types of magicians. King of Cups. These are magicians who you wouldn't realize are magicians. They keep things very quiet. These magicians look like regular people. It's typically not the magicians who look like what you would expect a magician to look like that you need to be concerned with. It's the magicians who just look like this. And they look like this. They don't have lots of tattoos and piercings, and they don't listen to death metal necessarily. They just look like everyone else. Two of Swords. Whatever this birthing process is not the time. It is not the time. There is still work that needs to be done here. In order for this being to like rock hard and rock on. They're also making a little joke about my death metal thing. Something about Guns N' Roses. Well, no, it's not really Guns N' Roses. It's just that like the rock star magician, you see that hat? This is a magician. That is a type of magic. Or King of Cups at the bottom of the deck. All right, we'll look at the work as well. Okay, so now we will move on. And we're going to go in real fantastic order as well. So we're going to look at, I need to get a different deck to clarify. Yes, it's this one. All right, let me give this a shuffle. And we've got a good narrative order here now that we are progressing. 3, we need to do 3. I'm gonna have to have like a playlist for this one. Okay, so the High Priestess, the Four of Wands, and the Six of Wands. There are or were already established like cults, sects, societies that were at one point dedicated to this being, or they are still here in some sense, but not on the internet. This would be pre-internet. So let's see if we can get some information on these societies or cults. And whenever I am seeing this being represented, it is by a high priestess or a queen, not a king. Though I have seen some kings present, male magicians, but like, oh, our clown is back. Oh. And that's in reference to some sort of like bacchanal. Because it wasn't men that like brought that energy through with the bacchanal. It was women, predominantly women. And also like the oracles back then, right? Like were predominantly women of like some education, I believe, because they had to be able to like, you needed to have like the education, like wasn't, because that like King of Pentacles. The yellow star is significant. The education component that made it classist because only certain women of certain stature could afford to be educated in the way that you needed to, I believe, to become a certain type of oracle, because you had to write out, like in some sort of verse, the messages of whatever they were bringing through. The reason why that's important, why a level of at least some education, at least for like, when I'm saying very, very structured things to come through. Education, besides being the acquisition of knowledge, also reinforces the mind in a particular way. It gives the mind a particular sort of structure. Because if you do not have a specific sort of structure in your mind, and you attempt congress with a particular sort of being, it's just going to pulverize your brain. It's going to turn your brain into mush. Or if it doesn't do, like, you'll just go crazy, essentially. You will not have the temporary madness. You will have the permanent brain worms. And nobody wants that. So, there has to be a particular structure present in the brain, not only for you to not go permanently insane, but also because to get anything of benefit from Congress with that being, you need to be able to provide the energy a coherent structure that other people can understand. That's why the education was important, not because like you had to have a specific sort of knowledge. It was more about the structure. So when I'm talking to you about education, it's not necessarily a formal education that you need. It's that your mind needs to have a particularly strong structure about it to do whatever it is that, you know, this being wants to do if it aligns with you. But that doesn't mean that you had to have gone to university or whatever. All right. So there are multiple of these sects. What I'm getting is just like, the color yellow is significant. There's something about dwindling here with that Two of Pentacles, but like we already saw that like for some reason, knowledge was lost or hidden. These were public things at one point. This was something public. But like now it's not, like it's in decline or disarray. So this happened, like this was prevalent at a different time in history, at least for us on the linear timeline. Yes, the clown went into hiding. It became secret. It was once public, it had to become secret. It had to go underground. Because, like, here's this Queen of Swords. Whenever the representatives of these sects come up, I've got High Priestess, we've had the Queen of Swords twice now. Because, like, whatever these people or these women, or, like, if the representatives are just women, I don't know. Because it's not like you can't do anything if you're a man, okay? I'm not trying to be that way. Like, there was obviously the disorder, right? The disorder. But this also speaks about conflict going on over what was being said. Like, we're going to fight you. 5 of Cups, 5 of Wands. At what point in history was this going on? Oh. Again, a queen here, a Queen of Pentacles. Got 10 of Wands, 9 of Cups, Queen of Pentacles, 4 of Cups. Oh, the medieval period. The medieval period. This was back when feudalism was going on. It was also going on in the Rococo period. Something about France. Something about France. There is also something about New Orleans and Spain. Rococo, also in France. Whenever, that's why I've been singing that shit. Oh my god, okay. The time of Toulouse-Lautrec, the time of the Moulin Rouge, then as well. Then as well. That is when, like, messages were coming through. There is also something about Rome. And also 4 of Cups, but, like, there's like 4 incarnations. 4 incarnations, perhaps starting with Rome. Something like that. But more information will be available on that later. Okay. So anyway, there just were. There were, but now not so much likely. That was like historical stuff. The history stuff. And so now, the Hermit and the Queen of Swords. This is about, like, why this went underground or what knowledge was lost. So I'm going to get a preliminary row to see what this is about. And then I'll clarify from there. Oh, the Wheel of Fortune. The wheel shifted. The yellow star is important. The yellow star is important. Saturn and Jupiter are significant. The yellow star is not the sun, but it is connected to the sun. But it is actually the moon that will manifest. The moon will manifest the yellow star. Okay, so what is this actually about? This is something about the alignment shifting. This is sort of like these manifestations of these sects or whatever are of a particular time. And so it's supposed to go away. It's not supposed to stay. This is not something of permanence. Obviously, if this is a chaotic neutral being, it is not supposed to be permanent. What about this knowledge? The knowledge will be coming telepathically and magically. The knowledge will come through visions. The knowledge will come through other people. Likely people who have some sort of magical aptitude, but it doesn't have to be. But there's something about women passing this to men. It is a sexually transmitted demon. It's not. At least not in the way you're thinking about. But it can be passed that way. Ooh. This knowledge is forbidden. Or there's something taboo about it. But like I said, it's passed through women or femmes. The yellow star is significant. This knowledge it's like and like I said, I know I'm being very gender essentialist about this, so but it's like the femmes transmit it or bring it through, and then men spread it. Like I was saying, that doesn't have to be sexual. I'm talking about messages. I mean, it can be, but you're talking more about, you would hear about it from a woman, but then you would spread it. Once it is in you, then you can pollinate. But the thing itself will come through a femme or a woman. The Maenads, of course, the Bacchanal. That's what I'm telling you. That's what this is about. It is a madness. The reason why it's linked to sex is because orgasm is a temporary insanity. That's why, but it is not an insanity that stays. It is also a pleasurable insanity. It is an ecstasy. Okay, that's why there's something about that that's linked. So you're also talking about the potentiality of back in the day, like people having orgies about this stuff. Hedonism or something like that. So I don't know why the fuck this being would be coming to me, because that is not my way. I am far more of an ascetic. So interesting. Oh, okay. I got you. Okay, well, that is the knowledge. But yeah, that transmission, how can, like, so, can we get more about the transmission of this? Because it can be sexually, it can be spoken, but it's likely through any medium that you're consuming. So there's the message, and it's an energy. The message is alive. You can't just, like, it's a thing. It's a living thing. There's a, so if someone's just talking about the clown, they're not necessarily talking about the clown is not speaking on the clown. Okay, there's a particular energy in the words themselves that you can't fake. This being comes through messages. Well, this is of various sort, but it's like playful. This is playful. Also animal messengers. But then I get what's this? What's this? This Two of Swords. This might be less intellect. Oh, that's something about the moon as well. There's something about this not being able to come through. Oh, it can't come through the lies of hierarchy. It can't come through the established order. It can't come through, like, these are the people who block the moon. So, like, you're not going to get this through, like, Catholicism or Judaism or Mormon. Like, anything that is established now, it's like that is, like, actively against what this is. So the message comes through children. What I mean by that is people who are largely uncontaminated by the order. That's not necessarily a child. Though children are more prone to seeing the clown. Just off the bat. If a child was going to see the clown would be in the closet. The clown would be in the bathroom mirror. They would write about the clown or draw the clown. And there's something about animals. Is there an animal sign? What is the animal sign if there is an animal sign? See, now this is why I need an animal deck. A death animal? It could be a psychopath. Oh no, it's like a horse. A horse. But it is also things that go on 4 legs that also have hooves. So it is not only a horse, because we had that pig, right? And when I'm looking at this, because I have this cat and this bunny and this toad, and then it's like, no, not the sign, not the sign. It is something with 4 legs that also has hooves. And so, oh, what is the work? The work is Haiti. Something went on in Haiti. There is something about this being with at least Rome, France, and Spain, and their colonies. Well, the work right now is the message, likely through whoever is going to bring the messages. And it is not like, it is likely not going to be perceived very well. There is danger. There is danger to the message. This is likely some sort of witch work or weird work. Because in this deck in particular, this is my witch card. You are navigating strange, weird waters by the moon. The yellow star comes through the moon. The yellow star is not the sun, but it is connected to the sun. But it manifests through the moon. Like I said, there's going to be like pushback on this work. But it is likely some sort of verbal message, written message, some form of communication at the moment. Yeah, like, what is that 3 of Swords? Oh, what I'm getting is people were killed for this, but yes, witches were killed for this. So please don't imagine that, like, what I am talking to you about is something that's very, like, no, 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 no. Seven of Wands, yes, like they're, like the attack though, like here's the thing, is that we are out of like the actual witch burning days for the most part. The way that would look now is that like some sort of authority would like, because it's coming through the moon, right? So the authority, the way that they would tamp down on this is like character assassination. That person's insane, like just don't, like that's much easier to do than to kill someone, like for real. That's like the amount of resources and red tape involved in an authority doing state sanctioned murder, like that's very expensive. So it's just far simpler to just be like, yeah, let's just sort of make some posts or something, or like program some chat GPT bots to just like spam that this person's insane. Like that's a lot cheaper. It is an information war. Oh my God, Alex Jones is, banish, no, banish. Because remember, the sign of the clown is the truth, not lies. So that would not be a representative. That would not be a representative. They'll cancel flop era, okay? There is something about standing against, like, if you are seeing people talk of the clown and they start getting pushed back, or you speak of the clown and you start getting pushed back, if you maintain the fight, there will be some sort of reward for that, a material reward. This is essentially saying, I don't care who thinks I'm crazy or not. I'm still saying what I'm going to say because it's the truth. But like, another way that they will fight you is that they will like offer to pay you off. You're going to have to walk away from that. You're going to have to walk away from that. Yeah, if you don't, like, they'll, like, this is just a reiteration of how they're going to fight you. Like, they'll just say, like, that's a crazy person. They need help. That is the work. So likely, that's how you would know it's a real thing and a real being, because if someone's offering to pay you a significant amount not to talk about it, that means something. Okay, so let's get our final advice outcome. We will not be pulling Jesus on this. And already the storm has begun. If you can't hear it in the background, we're supposed to get some very nasty weather today, and it sounds like it is starting already. Oof. Yes, it is through some sort of priestess that this will come. For justice, the Ten of Swords. Some sort of necessary destruction. Do not be distracted by the beautiful celebrities, Derek Zoolander, who will try and pay you off. The color yellow is significant. Oh, well, we have a Witch of Discs, a Four of Discs, the Nine of Swords. This is giving more like fakir energy, not really the traditional Nine of Swords to me. The Three of Swords, like I said, witches were like killed over this at some point. This is the Three of Swords underneath that Witch of Discs. I want to say especially in Haiti, I don't know. Something was going on in Haiti. There's something about like the places where Haiti was connected to Africa, something about that. I don't know. But like they are the ones who bring this through, this Four of Disc, Ace of Pentacles. That is the threshold. That is the stable threshold through which this manifests. Golden Age Magonia. Holy shit! Golden Age Magonia. What is it? The Lavender Zone? There's something fucking significant about all that shit. Passport to Magonia, Magonia itself, and like the Lavender Zone. I haven't really. Fuck! Oh my god, this is why magicians are significant as well. Because you need someone who has. There's previous knowledge on this. There is previous knowledge on this that magicians already know and have recorded. But you need somebody who has like all that information all together. Golden Age Magonia. The color yellow is significant. Golden Age Magonia is significant. And you know what I mean by that. Those of you who already have a reference point in that know what I mean by that. Because not even I fully know what I mean by that, but I know what I mean. But that is the potentiality, like how this being would prefer to manifest is in the Golden Age Magonia. That is what this is attempting to manifest, which also means a return to magic as actually relevant within consensus reality. That is part of the Golden Age Magonia. And there is a window of time where that is possible. Knight of Swords. Like I said, these messages are coming through like the weird. The weird. There's one more here. Seven of Swords. This is something about, even though it's the Seven of Swords, this is something about withstanding pain, withstanding discomfort. But we saw that with that, like, what was it? The Five of Cups. I forget which one it was in this deck. The Five of Discs. The Five of Discs. We already had that discussion about, like, withstanding discomfort. It's the discomfort of like speaking about it, perhaps. King of Wands. There's the Nine of Swords is at the bottom of the deck again. There's some sort of message here about like meditation and asceticism. The Magician, this King of Wands is a magician. But I'm not quite sure what this message is. Because like I said, this is like a preliminary thing. Four of Swords, Page of Swords. It's something about communicating with other people. It's like other people are all of a sudden like going to understand or something like that. And then they are going to start like observing or also talking. Ten of Pentacles and the Devil. This is the gold. Ten of Pentacles, the Devil, the Sun, Ace of Wands is bringing about the Golden Age Magonia. All right, can we have some sort of final statement here? Yes, it's coming out of this deck though, because I'm wrapping this up. We're kind of done. This is the preliminary speaking, which is done being spoken. fuck, now I'm gonna have, it's some sort of trilogy. The lavender zone, the mauve zone. I think that's it. The mauve zone, it's in that trilogy, but the reason why I like put off reading about that is because I'm pretty sure, because like once you start getting into this shit with the fucking magicians, they want to give you all these like ciphers and like, and I'm just like, oh my God. That is like the antithesis of me, by the way. Like when they start, oh, there's a formula, and I'm just like, oh my God, let's just have Congress with the beings. The secret cipher of the euphonauts is likely significant. Oh, I saw these beings. There was something about these beings pointing at someone. Pointing at someone. I don't know who though. This is the sign. Oh, yes, they are saying. Well, here's the thing though. Oh, that's right. Oh, that's fucking right. It is. Okay, this is personal to me, but it is also significant because of my connections with a certain... This is cracked out. My connections with a certain family of beings here, and I have permission to like this is their sign, okay? Because what they're saying here is essentially give the sign. This is the sign, okay? And they're talking about my associations. There is a particular group of beings of the earth who like touch, because I told you like the color yellow is significant. They touch the yellow. So there are beings of the earth that are associated with the clown, but they are not the clown. They are associated with the clown, but the thing is, one of the four is black. One is yellow, one is black. But by them both, you'll call them Jack. That's it, no outro.